Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and I wanted to do an overview. I guess it's not too much of an unboxing of the M18 fuel impact wrench. I've been wanting one of these for a while. I don't have any Milwaukee power tools. This is my first one. I've been using Ryobi, so I just wanted to show this was a good deal on Black Friday. I think normally the same combo is like 430 or 50. This was on sale for $2.99 at my local Rural King, and then it was 10% off store discount. So it was under $300. So you get a 5 amp hour battery, the newer 1 key enabled impact wrench, and higher torque. I think some of the other ones have the high torque as well. So I just wanted to show a little bit of this. I already took it out, made sure everything worked, and tried the 1 key app and everything. And everything is just packaged in there, so you're really not messing out on anything. And one of the first differences with this bundle is you get a contractor bag, which I actually prefer. I think most of the older bundles had a blow molded case. Well, to me, those are probably more useless because you can only, if they're molded, you can pretty much only put this stuff in them. To where this, you can use this for anything. Now, it won't offer as much protection, but, and I think it's pretty much everything. I think they all come with this dual battery charger for M12 and M18, but it's nice that they give you that one. With the Ryobi, you pretty much always get the cheap one, unless you buy the rapid charger. And then the impact itself and the 5 amp hour battery. Now, obviously I just got this, so there's really nothing to review, and we already know that these have been out for a while. They work fine. In my opinion, or in my case, I just wanted to show you what you get and talk about it. For me, this is just for lug nuts. This is the definition of overkill. It was just a really good price, and I wanted to switch from Ryobi to Milwaukee, so I wanted a bundle with a battery and a charger, and I did want a better impact. So, because one time I helped my dad in the junkyard to get lug nuts off, and the Ryobi just couldn't do it. And so, we had to just do it the manual way with an old socket and pound an old socket on and just hit it in penetrating oil, and finally got it to where I think maybe this could have broken it, because I think the Ryobi was maybe like 300 foot-pounds of torque, and this is 1,400. So even though it's overkill for pretty much anything I'd ever use it for, it is just nice to have that option if you need it. So, I mean, the big difference is, there's just a ton of weight to this thing. It's really big, sturdy, and a little bit better battery too, because the Ryobis I have are 4 amp hour, and this is 1 key enabled. So you have the Wi-Fi connection. I think it's actually Bluetooth, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Just have a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth turned on your smartphone, and you can download the app. And that's all in the tags and stuff that come with this. But this is brushless, so it's quiet. It definitely has power, but it's not as loud sounding to me as what the brushed ones are. And here's a comparison to the Ryobi one I have, which is pretty good. 4 amp hour battery. You can see the batteries are pretty similar in size. This one's a little bit more dense because I guess they have more cells packed in it. This one has, your button or your slider up here for your different settings, but you pretty much have to keep it on the max one because even the strongest one's fairly weak. To where this one has a button. I have the number 1 set to lug nut setting, and then you can customize these 4 in the app, which is pretty nice. And your fuel gauge. But there's a good bit, you can just look up the specs for the differences in weight. This one's probably significantly, this one's really top heavy, obviously, because you got more going on up top. That's a little bit small. This is actually better for most applications. It's just the right size. But I feel like for just lug nuts, you can handle that extra weight for a little while, just doing something like that, or just to get a few bolts off. And obviously one of the benefits with the Milwaukee is this is brushed. So you can probably see, it throws sparks, and obviously you get that burnt smell from the brushes. I mean, you can tell just, you can just feel the amount of torque that this has. It does feel a little bit smoother. I don't know if that's just the nature of a brushless tool than the Ryobi, but and then here you have the LED down here, and with the Ryobi it's up here, which I kind of prefer it up here, but that's just preference, doesn't really matter. And one thing of the one key is you can adjust the brightness of the LED and the time it's on, but the shortest is 15 seconds and the longest is I think 2 minutes or something. And so I like it to actually be less than 15 seconds, like maybe 5, but you can't do that. And I noticed when you lower the brightness of the LED, it seems to flicker, so I'm not sure if that's just mine, or so I just set it back to the max brightness, if that's something you want to check in the One Key app. And I'd kind of like to show that, but I'm using my phone to record, and that's how I connect to it with the app on my phone. And also, if you would need to change there's actually a coin cell battery behind here, which the app said it needed changed. I think that just helps maintain connection even when there's not an actual battery connected to it. Or if you don't want to use the One Key, then you can just remove that battery too for some reason. And the last thing I wanted to mention real quick was, since I'm new to the Milwaukee system, if you are too, I noticed when I got this, I didn't want to force anything, because you can see these pins are just exposed, and I didn't want to bend them or break any connections. And I kind of pushed it, and I was thinking, that's not a very, well, I have it on the whole way now, but kind of like that. And I was like, well, that's not a good connection. It seemed like I could short something out. So I charged it like this, and then when I went to grab it, it started to get the blinking up here that's like the defective battery. And I thought that I shorted it out, and I thought there's no way that they would design something with that poor of a fitment. And it turns out you have to really push that down on there, then it locks in. It can still rotate, but it's not coming back up now. But there's no click, it just it's a friction fit. So now that I've been doing it, it's a little bit smoother. It's definitely nowhere near as good as how the Ryobi just the post goes in and it clicks to where it's still a little rough, but, and then obviously since I did that, it's been charging fine. So if like me, if you're new to Milwaukee, don't be afraid of breaking this. You probably do more damage if you don't have a good connection when you're charging. Just push it down the whole way, and you'll kind of feel it grip in there better, and then you'll get a better connection. So it probably isn't the best video, but these Milwaukee impacts have been on here on YouTube forever. Everyone knows that they're good. They have some of the best power. For me, it was just telling you about this deal. It's a good deal. It's a good bundle. It's a good way to start to get into the Milwaukee system. I think it's a huge upgrade, as you can see, over the Ryobi, but the trade-off is obviously bigger, heavier, and more expensive. But the huge difference in torque, and supposedly the Milwaukee batteries are more robust. I would say it's a great deal. And again, there's been plenty of scientific and better videos showing what these tools are capable of. But I just wanted to give you an overview of this particular one. And if you can get that deal, it's really good to get into the Milwaukee system. So hopefully you found something useful out of this. I didn't want to cover One Key because I don't know how many people even want to use it. It's definitely good if you're a business or something and you're handing these tools out to track them and then keep inventory. And it's good for this tool to adjust torque values and such, or RPMs, but it's not that necessary. And that is kind of one nice thing about the Ryobi, is the simplicity of just a regular standard tool, but you can use this like this as well. So thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.